All right. Welcome, everybody. I am your host, Matt Ritchie, and today we have a special guest. Today we have Josh Trent. Josh is the founder of wellnessforce.com, and he's also the host of an extremely popular podcast called Wellness Force Radio. It was actually awarded top 50 digital health influencers of 2015. He's a wellness consultant, corrective exercise specialist, quantified self enthusiast, and expert in fitness technology. Josh's motivation to create Wellness Force in 2009 and coach over 10,000 training sessions is rooted in the fabric of where he came from. An early childhood and adolescent life plagued him with weight and health struggles. Along his personal professional journey since 2004, Josh has trained with numerous world-class fitness professionals, including Juan Carlos Santana, Paul Chek, Todd Durkham, and Mike Boyle. With over 10 years of high-level experience in the health and fitness industry, Josh provides content in multiple fitness and digital health publications for places like Wellness FX, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, Nuvian Digital Health, and Fitness Industry and Technology Council, and San Diego Pacific Magazine. He's certified by the NCAA fitness organizations, and Josh continues his transformation on iTunes and online with a clear mission to empower people to greater wellness in over 1 million lives through technology. Welcome, Josh. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
Yeah, I must say that was quite the bio. There's a lot to digest in there. A couple of those words, I don't even know if I knew what they were talking about, which is awesome. I love learning, I love growth, and that's why I brought you on here today, brother.
Thanks, man. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. So the reason that I have you here today, and the main reason I want to share your wealth of knowledge with everyone that comes on to listen to this is I believe health is a cornerstone in our society, our life. And if we don't have health, we don't have control over what we're putting into our body and how we're showing up, that it ripples out in everything else we do. Because this temple of ours really, we have such unlimited capacity, and if we don't take care of this temple, that we can't really tap into that capacity. And I'm really excited to see what you have to share for us today, because health is one of my favorite things to jump into, because there's always new stuff going on, and this is the epitome of that. You're living and breathing the apex of what we're at right now with health and fitness technology. So before we jump into any of that, though, we gave a little bit of your background right there. Why don't you just give us a quick background of like why you're doing this and how you show up every day?
Yeah. So, and I saw you have the Apple Watch, so I'm excited to talk about that too. My story started really from childhood, where I had a lot of poor habits, and that's something that what I learned from childhood, really I apply to my adult life, as we all do, right? So different things that we work through as adults. And the things that I learned when I was a kid was that there is no such thing as home. There's no such thing as normal. Stress and chaos are constant, and always prepare for the inevitable, which is something bad's going to occur. So that point of stress in my life led me to seek out food as a way to numb myself and not feel. That later led into some other addictions and habits that even still I'm in the process of overcoming. And that was the catalyst to really allow me to become a fitness professional, launch this podcast, Wellness Force Radio, about behavior change and wellness technology. But that stemmed from my desire to be a better human being. So I can distinctly remember this. I was drinking at a party when I was like 21, 22. And I had this moment where I put the drink down and I was like, this is not my life. There is something more than this. And I remember distinctly running back home 3-4 miles drunk. And when I got home, I was sweaty, I was exhausted, but I felt alive. And I started looking up. This is 2002, so the internet wasn't as fast, but I was like looking up as much health and fitness information as I could. And I started to just feel a little bit of hope, this spark of hope for change. So I started learning, how do you lose weight? How do you work out? Like, how do I actually do this? Because I know there's something more. So for the next year, I did that, saved up $10,000, moved to Hawaii, lived in Hawaii for 6 months, started fishing and hiking and surfing and really studying what it was to achieve sustainable health. And then I was working at a 24-hour fitness in Hawaii Kai, which is the southeast tip of Oahu. And this fitness manager came up to me and he said, hey, I've seen you work out. Have you ever thought about training people? And I said, what does that mean? He's like, you know, like a personal trainer. And I said, what's a personal trainer? So that's what led me into training people for the next 10 years. And some other really cool things that happened that may or may not relate to your audience, but I at least wanted to paint that picture of myself going through some bad habits and taking the course of actions to correct those. And then even still working on that as you and I sit here today.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. We all have habits, and some of them are considered bad. Some of them are not serving us in whatever it is we want to create. And I love the fact that you're able to not only identify that habit, but then create a plan of action to shift it. And that's really what I'm all about, is like really being conscious of what we're currently doing in this present moment and sitting with that, seeing if I want to change something, see if I want to shift something, and then taking whatever action necessary to shift that, whether it be, hiring a personal trainer, whether it be traveling the world, whether it be whatever, just taking that first step, take that first action. And, I think a lot of people can really resonate with that as far as being in that space of being with a habit or something you're not happy with. And whether you take the action or not, just being in that space of knowing that you want to or that you need to change something in your life.
And essentially, aren't you touching on self-awareness? So there's two pieces of us. There's the ego, and then there's the love and the heart. And I think self-awareness is in the heart. So even with all these layers of beliefs that didn't serve me, that little voice inside was still powerful enough for me to take action.
Yeah, that's powerful. I'm curious. So I feel like I'm pretty in tune with my body. I'm pretty in tune with my mind, my spirit. And I get this question a lot. I'm curious how you answered. Like, how do you hear that voice? How do you know which voice to listen to?
Can you tell me? I think that it's a process. For me, there's always a feeling of fear when I'm doing something that's worthy. Like I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm afraid of failing, whatever it is. And something that I've tried to cultivate over the past 2 years, especially, is just feeling that fear and like being okay with it. The emotional intelligence to feel the fear. I mean, we've done a lot of work in similar groups, right? So there is a force that's within us. It's the good wolf and it's the bad wolf. And I think whenever there's something that I've gone into as a project or as an accomplishment that I'm trying to work towards, if it's scary, that's the voice that I try to listen to. Because the comfortable voice, where it's kind of like, oh, you can just lay down, or oh, you can get a safe job, or oh, you can get a comfortable eating plan, but you can start on Monday. All these things that my bad wolf tells me that are comfortable and that don't push me into my edge, those are the voices that I do my absolute best to turn the volume down on and listen to the voices that are kind of like exciting and more scary and more fearful.
You're crazy, Josh. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's great, man. And that's beautiful because that's such a distinction. I love that. Like, what is your voice saying? Is it want to keep you safe? Is it really, looking to keep you comfortable and stay? Or is it looking to push your boundaries and looking to, expand into something greater? And you say I love the idea. I know that story well about the the good wolf and the bad wolf, and like whichever one you feed, grows, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that good and bad is relative. So what's good to you or good to someone else, may not be good for me. And I love having yourself be that true north, being that compass, and being really emotional, like you talked about emotional intelligence, being really tapped into what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how that's affecting your reality, and then being present with that. Like, this is what I've been doing, and this is not been serving me, so I need to do something different. And that's a huge shift, though, to do that, to really listen to that or be in tune with that. And I want to applaud you for taking those actions and helping other people to step into that in the realm of wellness.
Thanks. Yeah. And I can distinctly remember reaching out to you. I think it was over a year ago about a conversation like this. And you gave me some great advice at that point. You allowed me to kind of step back and look at my life from a higher perspective and say, well, where are your priorities? And I think priorities and the way that I've acted on my priorities have been the differentiator between moving forward or staying stuck. The priorities, what my value system is. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So let's jump into, man, I'm excited. I want to learn some new stuff today. And that's really my own selfish reason for doing all this. I really just like to learn new shit. So
it's not that selfish. You're still serving a lot of people.
Thank you. So what is new and great in the world of fitness technology right now? Can you give us a little 30,000 foot view and show us what's there?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot there. We'd have to be on call for 4 hours to discuss it all, but I can break it into four distinct buckets.
Perfect.
So, right now, within the umbrella of wellness technology, there's digital health, there's mobile applications in health, there's fitness tracking and devices, and then there's wellness and mindfulness devices. So, in each one of those buckets, there's a market segment where there are different companies that are fighting essentially to be the leader. Everyone wants the data ecosystem. So, Apple has HealthKit. Fitbit has its own platform. Jawbone has its own platform. Everyone has a specific data set that they want their users to look at all the time. The average person looks at their phone, I think it's 150 times a day. So, of course, it makes sense that as the digital revolution marches forward, people are going to be checking their phones more and more and more. So with the Apple Watch, which was really cool, and I'd love to get maybe your share later on the Apple Watch, the way that they've positioned the Apple Watch is that we no longer need to have our phone on us all the time, and we can just simply with a glance see how we're doing, see how we're showing up. That's really cool. I use the Fitbit Surge. So the Surge is similar to the Apple Watch, but without all the bells and whistles and life logging as the Apple Watch has. So I can track in the fitness technology bucket, that one of four, my steps, my sleep, my time sedentary versus my time active. Also, I can log my calories and then break down micro and macronutrients from there. So we're looking at an activity and an exercise tracker on my wrist. And within that market, the clear leader right now is Fitbit. I mean, they just went IPO. They had, I think last quarter, $400 million in sales. So this is definitely where the needle is moving in fitness technology. But then, of course, in the other buckets, we have things like the Apple Watch, where I don't know if the Apple Watch falls into any one of those four buckets. I think it touches on them all because there's over 4,500 apps for the Apple Watch that are either being built or on the iTunes store right now. And all of those touch on the mindfulness component, the fitness component, the life hacking or life logging component. So I'm thinking that based on what I've seen from the Apple Watch, even though it's early, that is going to be the clear leader and someone who's going to be breaking the ice for the seamlessness of how this technology is really going to serve humanity. The ideation behind it is fantastic, but what these manufacturers have not figured out is how to make that human connection and how to meet people at their deepest needs. That's been the journey for these companies. The bells and whistles, the technology's cool, it's fun, it's exciting. If you're a dork like me that played Nintendo when you were a kid, it's kind of fun. But the way that it actually meets people at their deepest pain points, at their deepest obstacles, and at their deepest needs, it hasn't quite fit yet. And there's a lot of articles written about this on Mashable and TechCrunch where these wearable sales are declining right now. And it's because the manufacturers, with their marketing and with the way they design the functionality of their device, are not meeting people at that deepest need. So that's kind of the high level view of these buckets. And each bucket is pretty specific too.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Before we jump into anything, any further, that I love the idea you're talking about of meeting people at their deepest need. And I'm curious, what do you think? Where are they missing? What do you think the deepest need is? What are people really wanting?
And I can apply this from my own story, just personally, the past year plus with this digital health window that I've been looking through, but also in clients too. The way in which I approach my life is every day when I wake up, I have something that I want to accomplish. Now, that's great. And I have this intention. And if I'm mindful about it, then I can create whatever I want to create. But as we all know, obstacles come up. Lack of motivation might come up. Stress might come up. There's going to be things that put a roadblock in front of things that need to be accomplished. And what the device manufacturers haven't done as far as meeting people at their deepest need is feeling trust that those roadblocks will not be strong enough to overcome the device they have and the system of accountability that they have. This accountability system, whether it's Fitbit or Apple or Jawbone or anything, the accountability system right now is based purely on the device. But the belief systems and meeting someone at their deepest need does not occur inside of a device. It occurs inside of the human being. So the device needs to be redesigned so that it can actually serve the person to sustain these new beliefs and maybe even possibly to create new beliefs of hope and excitement in the end user itself. For example, there's a book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and he talks about the cue, right? The cue of behavior. So you have something that comes up, it's a feeling of stress. That's the trigger. And then from the trigger, you have the behavior or the cue. Well, I know that when I'm stressed, I can go drink a beer at lunch. And then you get the reward. The reward is that feeling of relaxation. But what Charles talks about and what these devices are trying to do is take out that middle section and replace the behavior with something healthy. So you have this feeling of uncomfortableness in the center instead of the beer. You can then reach out to a coworker or log into your app and chat with someone about your health progress, or put some kind of new behavior in the middle so that they still get the same reward. And I think that's the obstacle right now that these wearable manufacturers are dealing with. They haven't figured out how to actually replace the behavior and validate it by making it impenetrable for redesign. So that's kind of what I see the gap right now.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So the idea of community and really bringing that human element into it would be probably the next level for wearables and just fitness tracking in general, I would say.
And it's cool because some of them have it, but it's like they're just scratching the surface. There's no real,
Right. Like, 'cause
there's
I know
no
with
real,
Fitbit, like my parents have used Fitbit actually for a long time. I've only had this for about 8 weeks, but they track, of course, their stuff, and they're like in their group of friends, and they're kind of competing. And I love it because it gets my parents walking more. It's just they really use it just for steps, so they're competing on who has
great.
more steps, and
Yeah.
that whole social, even just competition aspect is just one. I think you're right when you just say you're just kind of scratching layer of what's possible there. But it's just like one thing they're doing right now that is kind of cool, but I could really see it going deeper and really being more engaging.
And I don't know if there is a clear answer right now. Do you know what I mean? Because it is such a new space. Like what possibly attracted you to the Apple Watch was having this framework of accountability. What attracted me to the Fitbit Surge was having this mirror of mindfulness where at any point during the day, it can give me a notification or I can check in and see actually how I'm showing up. Because if we can't track it, it's hard to change it. And
Absolutely.
if you're more self-aware, whether it's through data or a phone call or a text message, it's just little tiny touches of being more self-aware throughout the day.
No, I love that, and you're right, because if we're not tracking anything, we're not changing it, because you don't know what to change, you don't know where to start. And the main reason I got this, I'll speak into this a little bit, is I wanted a fitness tracker. I looked at the one you have, and I'm an Apple person, and I looked at the Apple Watch, and I didn't even look at any of the Android watches because I was like, if I'm going to get a smartwatch, it won't be one of those.
Yeah.
I can't speak into any of those, but comparatively to the one you have and certain like the Jawbone or a couple of the other ones, they were very single-minded, right? Like they only track your fitness. They only do this one thing. And this does that. And like literally, like you said, 4,500 apps. I don't have hardly, 10, but there's so many other possibilities there. I could see the potential, like you said, about those 4 buckets, like hitting all those things. Like maybe I could do something with my meditation. Maybe I could do something with, more social. And also it's going to take and track all of my fitness. I love it for that. Love it for everything. Actually, I really enjoyed it more than I thought it would. And recently, it just seems like, I don't know, I'm actually going to take it back to Apple. I think something's wrong with my battery. I can't even get a full day out of it anymore. And it's been dying. So there's definitely drawbacks to it. It's definitely not a perfect device. But for what it does and the potential it has, I love it. And like most Apple products, the battery is very substandard, I think.
Yeah, and they're trying to make it seamless and user friendly, but also on the backside have this high performance. And technology is propelling forward, but maybe just where we're at right now, as you and I talk in 2015, maybe the technology just can't meet the expectation right now. I'm not saying that it won't soon, but that's version 1, right? So OS 2 is already in development. I think they're going to launch it in the fall. And that goes the same for all the other device manufacturers. Everyone's going to constantly be reassessing, improving, adding smaller, faster, cheaper technology to these pieces. So, you remember how it was when cell phones came out. They were like 4 feet long. You had to wear a backpack.
Like the bag phone, man. We had a bag phone in our car. You had to plug it into the car and had like this bag, fold it out and look like a big house phone.
Exactly. So I think these wearables are going to go the same way. They're going to start big and not high performance, and they're going to end really small and super high performance. Look at the iPhone. Look at this. This is the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is like 3 times bigger screen. I remember when the Razr came out, the Motorola Razr. It was like so cool because it had this 1-inch screen on it. So
Gotta love technology. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on here today. And I feel like it's like technology is just evolving so fast. And even for me, I feel like I'm a fast evolver and I keep up on things, but I can't even keep up on everything.
Yeah.
And that's why I love bringing people like you on to kind of pick your brain. So, what would someone listening right now, say they maybe were interested in a wearable technology or just, in general, improving their health? What would be one thing you'd recommend that they do or acquire maybe to help them in that journey?
The number one thing they need to do is meditate. And I'm saying that from my own life experience, because if you don't have a morning practice, and when I have not had a structured morning practice, the rest of the day is going to be exactly how I started it, which is not aware, not self-loving, and not self-caring. So the number one thing that people can do if they're interested in a quote wearable is download a free meditation app. Or if you're the kind of person that wants to start off on the right foot, on a better foot, get a $10 app. There's two apps. There's Equanimity, and then there's an app that's called Calm. Calm's a really great app as well. I think it's $5 or something like that. So these two apps can keep you more accountable, more engaged, more excited about continuing this long-term behavior strategy for meditation. And I'm sure, as you can attest, I mean, I know meditation is a practice in your life. The benefits of meditation are, yes, increased self-awareness and reduced stress, but we're actually cultivating in that 10 minutes or in that 15 minutes the capacity for greater health and wellness throughout the day, more positive thinking throughout the day, whatever it is. So that is the number one piece, which is interesting. It's not necessarily a wearable technology. And then the caveat on that, the third thing I'll say to the meditation piece is there is a brain sensing technology that I've been using for about 5 months. It's called Muse. And Muse is a brain sensing headband. It tracks your theta, alpha, and beta waves. Alpha meaning a state of calm, focused energy. The other two, that means that you're thinking and drifting. So what's really cool about this is through wearing this device, it can actually quantify and qualify the quality of your meditation, both. They give you gamification. There's different pieces within the app where if you hear birds in your ear, you know you're calm. It'll try to distract you, and it'll test how focused you can be during a meditation session. So that's been really cool. It also activates the inner dork inside of me that's like, whoa, it's like a video game. so that's, I would say that's the number one. And then obviously from there, you can get basic step trackers and counters. And we can talk about that if you want, but I just wanted to reiterate, that the most important piece is taking that first 10 or 15-minute block in the morning.
Yeah. As you know, I'm a huge advocate of meditation. I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. I would like to speak into that a little more. The band you're using, can you tell me more about your experience and, if you like it, what you don't
Sure.
like, or what exactly it does or gives you?
So we had the CEO of Muse, and the company's Interaxon. So they have partnerships with Gaiam and all throughout the wellness industry. And essentially this device teaches people how to meditate better and keeps meditation fun and accountable. And it's a device you wear on your head. It has the same EKG, EEG sensors that are found in a hospital. So it's medical grade equipment that we can now purchase for, I think, $300, less than $300, which up front might seem like, whoa, $300. But if you break that down over the course of a year, it's like 75 cents a day. So for 75 cents a day, you can now have this framework of accountability where when you log into the app, you can see your progress, you can see the previous day, and you can start to pull back from how you're actually showing up, not only in your life, but in your meditation sessions. And then in these sessions, you can allow yourself to relax more because you're getting that feedback based on how you're actually showing up during that 10-minute block or during that 15-minute block. So the exciting part of this is not only for someone like myself that enjoys these exterior frameworks of accountability, but even for the people that haven't ever meditated before, it'll give them something quantitative and qualitative to look forward to the next day. So somebody might be excited because they'll say, you know what, yesterday I was 75% calm. Today, I'm going to really just be focused. I'm not going to force my meditation. I'm not going to go anywhere special in my mind. I'm just going to sit there and focus on my breathing technique. And then as time goes by, oh, great. Now I'm at 80% calm. Now I'm at 85% calm. And then you can really start to think, well, the feedback I got from this app was that my calmness increased, my percentage of calmness increased quantitatively. So now you can actually realize in your mind and in your body, what am I doing during that session that's successful, and try to replicate that.
I love that. And like I say, the only qualitative or quantitative, I guess, information that I've brought back before from meditation is just time, right? I did it for 10 minutes. I did it for 20 minutes. I did it for an hour, but I didn't have anything to track it. I didn't have anything to let me know where my brain waves are at. That's really interesting. I'm going to look into that. What's the name of the company again?
And actually, I don't know when this is going to be published, but for 5 more days, I have a 15% off coupon that they gave me for the Wellness Force Radio audience. So if you're interested, or if anybody's interested, I think it's like $50 off, or close to $50 off. So it's just wellnessforce.com/muse. And that's the name of the device, MUSE, Muse.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So one of the things I use for meditation is binaural beats. Every now and then I'll use binaural beats. Are you familiar with binaural beats?
I experienced 2 sessions at the Quantified Self conference. I really liked it. It put me in, I almost want to say like a state of mild trance. Was that your experience?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I've been using binaural beats for about 4 years. I mean, that was actually how I got into meditation. Like I couldn't sit still, and someone recommended that I use binaural beats, and I didn't have any idea what that was. And it's been around since like the 70s or 60s. It's not new technology.
Yeah.
So I started using that, and anyone who wants to start meditating, I highly recommend they just try those, because it really helps physically like lower your brain, to a theta state, or even a delta state, they claim. But I use that, but I also, I want to ask you about, I'm blanking on the company that I bought. I bought a company where I wear glasses, and then I put in just headphones, and I have their device, and I do, they have binaural beats overcoated with, you can put different ones on, but like different types of mantras.
I know exactly the company you're talking about, because they were at the conference. And
yeah, and then
their name is slipping. Yeah.
They flash the LEDs.
Yeah.
In your eye. I mean, you're closing your eyes, but you're essentially, it's like, hypnotic technology basically. And I love it. I think it's really good. I was using it daily, and I can't say that I'm using it daily every day, but I do use it, and I'll use it actually for like, I do a nap. So I'll like put that on and just lay down and listen to it, and it puts me into my state where I can just zonk out for 15 to 30 minutes, however long the one is, and then come back, and I feel amazing. And it's like subconsciously programming me, and I'm getting rest. So it's like this double whammy of amazingness. So I was just curious, have you experienced any of those? Have you worked with any of that technology?
I did 2 sessions with the device you're talking about. I forgot the name, but what I experienced afterwards was just this almost like a temporary reprogramming of my stress hormones. So I felt like I was much more parasympathetic at that moment when I got out of the chair. I think it was 20 minutes. I did it Saturday and Sunday. And each time that I did it, it was just this general feeling of calm that I could take into the next conversation or the next interaction that I had with someone. And I like that. The reason I didn't invest in it is because I wasn't necessarily sold on the long-term efficacy. But if I had the opportunity to do like a beta test for 30 days, or even just hearing your story, man, motivates me to try it again. But I had a positive experience from it.
Yeah, I'm blanking. The gentleman who started the company I met, and I used it just, at a demo as well. And then he wanted to get it out and put it out to more people. So he gave it to me for 30 days to try it. And honestly, I loved it. So I paid him. Awesome. I bought it. I was like, I'm just going to keep this. I'll send you money, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sold on it either. That's why I didn't buy it right away. A year had passed maybe until I actually went back and until he gave it to me.
Yeah.
So it was definitely one of those things that I was a little skeptical as well. And I've only been using it, but for like maybe 3 months now. So, I think the jury's still out as far as what exactly it can create, but I do know what it creates in the now. And the now it creates deep relaxation, deep rest. Like it brings me to this point of like I love naps. So like it pulls me into like a deep theta delta wavelength where I'm really getting some really solid rest time in a very short amount of time. And it's speaking straight to my subconscious, because when you're in that, your conscious mind, all the filters are down. So whatever it's saying, which is all positive, is going straight to my subconscious mind, and it's reprogramming me.
Yeah, I would love to experience that, man. It's a great tool. I'm not knocking the tool. I would just love to do like you did, like a 30-day trial. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get that out there for our viewers here. Well, damn it. Time flies when we're having fun. We're already past the time I had really allotted us to talk. I really enjoyed speaking with you, Josh. Is there any way, well, actually, why don't you give everyone a chance to connect with you? Can you give them your information?
Sure. Yeah. If anything that we talked about made you feel curious or upset or happy, whatever emotion you felt, write to me. Let me know. I'm in this constant feedback loop right now where I'm really excited about a digital health transformation coaching program that I'm creating, and we're going to launch it towards January. And I'm looking for people to give me feedback. So if anything came up for you, email me, josh@wellnessforce.com. You can just search Wellness Force. There's tons of information, tons of articles online as well.
And we also have a free gift for them today. You want to tell them a little bit about that?
So the free gift is really cool. This is a guide that I created. It's a 20-page guide, and it's about using these applications and devices to actually empower yourself for this accountability we've been touching on. So it's a digital health transformation guide, and it's just wellnessforce.com/best life.
Perfect. And we're going to have a link to that underneath this recording, so you won't have to remember that. But I'll put your email as well as that link down here so people can get in contact with you and check out this free guide. I'm excited to check it out. I haven't even checked it out yet. I'm going to go through that and look at it, and I'm going to read everything. So I'll let you know.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.
Well, we really appreciate you having you on, Josh. Everyone out there, thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking accountability and really wanting to shift your health to take it to a higher level. Hope this has been valuable to you. I know I've already learned a lot. I'm excited to take these little bits of knowledge and run with them. Thank you again, Josh. Have an amazing day, everyone. We'll see you guys on the next course.